What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee and Toys here, bringing you another comic book review. Today, we are going to be reviewing Image Comics / Skybound Entertainment's Duke issue 3. So, if you're ready for some spoilers and you want to learn what happens in the latest issue of Duke, stay tuned. Here we go. All right, like we normally do on this channel, we'll do a quick recap of what we had at the end or near the end of issue 2. Leading up to what we're going to review today in issue 3 of Duke from Image Comics. So, what we had at the end of issue 2 was that Duke had been captured along with Clutch by the G.I. Joe team and put in the bottom of the pit. During this time, we find out that the Baroness is also being kept in the bottom of the pit, and she is trying to broker some sort of deal with Duke and Clutch to help all three of them get out of the bottom of the pit. Now, with that being said, that leads us into today's review over Duke issue 3 from, like I said, Image Comics / Skybound Entertainment. And real quick, just to give credit where credit is due, we have Duke number 3 is written by, once again, Joshua Williamson, artist Tom Riley, colorist Jordi Belair, and letterer Russ Wooten. So again, that team is doing a fantastic job with the look and the feel of this comic. Very excited to get into this with you today. Now, that being said, this is spoiler heavy, so now's the time. If you don't want to know, you should probably just click the like button and be on your way. But if you want to hang around, please go ahead and hit the like button anyway, because that really helps out the channel. And let me know in the comments below what you think of G.I. Joe's Duke issue 3 once this review is all said and done. Did you pick it up at your local comic book shop? Because make sure you support local comic book shops everywhere. Make sure you support G.I. Joe where you can, and if you can, please pick up Duke. This is a fantastic miniseries. I'm really enjoying it, and yeah. So, with that said, the issue opens up. We see Mars Industries. There is a building, and we have Mercer and the troops packing up everything, saying, okay, we got to go. We have to get to another base. And in the meantime, we cut over to Destro, who we just get a brief image of, but it is definitely Destro. And he is talking to someone about needing to capture the information that Dr. Burke had given to Duke. And that person that Destro is sending out for this job is none other than Major Blood. Yes, you see a full picture of Major Blood sitting on a chair, spinning his gun. And the man has 2 eyes. So keep that in mind. This man is pre-eye patch. But otherwise, he looks fantastic. He looks just like the classified figure that came out recently in the last couple of years. And yes, so they're having a meeting, and Major Blood says, it's going to take a team to capture Duke if he's in the pit, but I am the guy that can get this job done. Moving on. Meanwhile, we are back at the pit, and we see Rock and Roll and Stalker talking to Colonel Hawk. And again, remember, this is Colonel Hawk, not General Hawk. Hasn't gotten that promotion just yet. Saying, yeah, when we captured Duke, he was really beat up, and there's something in just the look in his eyes that says we're having a hard time doubting that whatever he's seen, he really has seen, but he's not, we can't see him as a traitor. And Colonel Hawk's basically like, you know what, that's fine, but there are reasons why we have him in the bottom of the pit right now, and the detail's going to come and pick him up shortly and bring him to me. So, with that being said, we cut to the bottom basement of the pit where Clutch and Duke and the Baroness are being held to await their fates, whatever that might be. In the meantime, we have Baroness continuing to try to broker a deal with Clutch and Duke, saying, hey, we can help each other get out of this. We just have to work together, figure out a plan. And Duke's not even responding. And Clutch says, hey, the man's throwing himself a pity party, and he kind of deserves to have it. And so at that point, Baroness just starts goading Duke. And Duke basically snaps his head up and says, I know who you really are, Anastasia. And it takes her by surprise. And then Duke quickly goes through, and we get a few pages of kind of Baroness's history, you know, the typical history we know of the Baroness, the privileged young woman who grew up in the aristocratic scene, got bored with life, and basically went into a life of espionage and killing and all that fun stuff that we all know. And that Duke says, and you even earned yourself a nickname, the Baroness. So, full circle on that name, on that character plot, or that character build. So that was very fun to see. And anyway, so then he just kind of goes back to sulking, and Baroness just keeps digging at him, saying, oh, you're so loyal to your country, and look where your country has put you. You're in the, you're in the base of the pit and no one believes what you're saying. Nobody cares. And you still will not say what you know. She's even trying to get information out of him. And we cut back up to the surface, and the detail that is to pick up Duke and Clutch has arrived. They kind of come in really fast and don't stop. And Stalker's like, what the hell's going on? Slow down. And he gets to the vehicle, and the detail has been killed. Stalker then realizes, calls out, we're under attack. Just then, as Major Blood and his Bloodhounds, yes, that name sounds familiar. Drop me a comment if they've used that before in either Marvel or IDW or Devil's Due, because the Bloodhounds sound really familiar. That's his group of mercenaries, and they basically look all like Major Blood. They all have the helmet. They all have the same kind of gear. They just have 2 eyeballs and 2 regular arms. But that being said, they start wiping out the pit. Rock and Roll shows up in the basement of the pit, and he's looking a little worse for wear. And they basically say, what's happened to you? And he's like, we're under attack. I've got to get you guys out of here right now. So he lets Clutch and Duke out of their cells and leaves the Baroness. And Baroness is screaming in the background saying, don't leave me here. They will kill me. And right before anything else can happen, Duke kind of pauses as she's saying that, and Clutch and Rock and Roll are ahead of him. And there's a massive explosion that incapacitates both Clutch and Rock and Roll. Thankfully, Duke was far enough back because he stopped to listen to the Baroness. He runs up and he's trying to check on Rock and Roll and Clutch and trying to help them. And in the meantime, Baroness is saying, you've got to get me out of here. That's the only way. And Duke grabs either it must be Rock and Roll's sidearm, and says, don't make me regret doing this, giving this to you. He gives her the gun, and then just then he's punched in the back of the head by a metal hand, and it's Major Blood. And Major Blood basically says, yep, I'm sent here to find you. And Duke makes the comment, who sucker punches somebody? And Major Blood, they start fighting, and Major Blood basically says, I do what it takes to win, to capture my prey, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, you're going to tell me where that information is that Dr. Burt gave you. It doesn't matter if you're dead or alive. My job is to get that data. And in the process, he actually does shoot and wound Duke in the thigh. I mean, I'm telling you, Duke is a mess in this series. This man has been beaten up, shot so many times, and we're only in issue 3. But anyway, so he incapacitates Duke. He walks up to him, says, tell me where the information is, and he points the gun at Duke's head, gonna shoot him. And then we get the next panel, we just see splat. And we see a bullet going through Major Blood's head, assumably his eye. And he falls off to the side, and Duke's sitting there. And the final moment of this issue is Baroness zipping up her outfit, her classic outfit that we all know. And she says, you heard what he said, you've got a major price on your head, or something to that effect. So the issue ends with Baroness pointing a gun at Duke, Rock and Roll and Clutch incapacitated, the Bloodhounds still attacking the base. Major Blood may or may not be dead. I'm going to assume he's not dead. But another fantastic issue wraps up with Duke issue 3. And I like this issue. We had a lot of excitement, a lot of stuff. Story moving forward. And nice to see, like I said earlier, the Baroness, her story getting told in a couple of panels. Getting to see, she's definitely no good. Seeing Major Blood brought into it, and very quickly executing, pun intended, for the from the no eye, or having 2 eyes to having 1 eye. Surprisingly, having it be Baroness, that's the one that does that to him. Briefly getting to see Destro was nice again, but another fantastic issue that just leaves me wanting to know what's next, because I don't know what happens. Right now we've got Baroness with a gun to Duke's head. Duke's been shot in the leg. Clutch is out. Rock and Roll's out. My only thing I can think of is that the Bloodhounds are going to retreat. Maybe Stalker and a couple other Joes that we haven't seen yet might be able to stop the Baroness before she gets Duke. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Baroness will get away with him. Maybe she'll, steal a Joe vehicle. I don't know. But this is another fantastic issue. And before I forget, and before you forget, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Make sure you share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, because I love doing these comic book reviews. You guys have been giving me some really good feedback. and I'm definitely considering more comic reviews, both present and past comics. So, but with that said, I did want to show you the different covers of the Duke issue 3 issues. So this is the standard cover. This is the one I picked up and actually opened to read. So I do enjoy this. We get to see the Baroness in her outfit. We got Duke off to the side. You can see some of the bloodhounds laying here on the ground. And yes, this is just a standard cover. Another standard cover is this issue. We have Duke standing on top of what looks like to be, I would dare to say that might be, I was going to say it's a transformer, but I don't think it is because we have other military vehicles through here. But I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. Does that look like a transformer or is that just some sort of military vehicle? But another very cool cover. And then I was able to pick up the 1 in 10 version, which is a picture of the pit and Duke making his rounds, beating up the bloodhounds, it looks like, all the different bloodhounds. And yeah, very reminiscent of the artwork from the classified series Chuckle, if you were able to pick that figure up from last year. It looks very much the same as the artwork done on that. Have to wonder if it's the same artist. But yeah, I was able to pick up those 3 variant issue copies. Very much enjoyed it. If you are enjoying Duke and you're enjoying these reviews, make sure, again, you leave a like. Make sure you support your local comic book shop. Go out, get Duke today. They are reprinting these issues, Duke, Cobra Commander, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, because they are doing so well in the sales department. And that makes me happy because that means, from my understanding, Duke and Cobra Commander are just limited runs of 5, and then it's over. It's a miniseries. And I'm really hoping that we get like a second series of Duke or something like that. But who knows? Maybe they're going to focus on other characters. But we are more than halfway through it now because we are just ended issue 3. Stay tuned to this channel for next month where I will be reviewing a Real American Hero, Cobra Commander, and Duke. Otherwise, I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.